Welcome to a Business Growth Mindset podcast. I'm Kristian Livolsi, and I am incredibly grateful to be here today and share this amazing episode with you. My purpose is to change the world one person at a time so that I can help them become the very best version of themselves. To all the business owners and entrepreneurs, the crazy ones, the believers, the doers, the clever makers, the action takers, and everybody else in between, I created this podcast for you. Today, I am going to talk about how to develop courage and use it in decision making. I'm confident that you will gain great insight from the psychology or the psychological attributes of courage that we will explore, and then I will give you a simple and effective 6-step process that I use to develop courage in my clients and get them making better decisions so that they can flourish and grow. These steps will help you build self-confidence, prosperity, self-worth, and value. So stay tuned. It's a short episode this week, but it's a powerful one. If this is your very first time visiting my channel or listening to my content, make sure that you subscribe by clicking the subscribe button now, as well as the notifications alert. Otherwise, you're likely to miss future episodes. Stick around, listen up, and let's see what I share with you today and see if it helps you develop more courage to change your life or that of someone that you know. Before we get started, I want to thank you for the incredible response, and I would like to thank you for your time, feedback, and reviews. If you haven't already done so, please take a minute to rate and like the podcast and provide a short review. This helps others know that what I'm sharing is valuable. Courage as a noun, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is both the ability to do something that frightens one and the strength in the face of pain or grief. Now, how many of us can relate to moments in our lives where we felt fearful, scared, lost, and even defeated? This is not uncommon, and even the bravest lack courage sometimes when they are faced with adversity. Courage is a quality of spirit and conduct. It permits you to face extreme danger or take action in difficult situations without fear. One-time prisoner of war John McCain defined courage as a brief singular occurrence, that a rare moment of unity between conscious fear and action when something deep within us strikes the flint of love, of honor, of duty, to make the spark that fires our resolve. Now, this definition conjures up an image of the lone hero who instinctively and spontaneously and against all odds suddenly takes charge and stands up for virtue. In psychology, it's common to refer to 6 attributes of courage. Now, I present them as statements and support them with a quote so that it makes sense to me, and I hope it does make sense to you. And number 1, feeling fear yet choosing to act. Now, a quote that helps me reflect on this attribute is actually by Nelson Mandela. And he says, "I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear." Number 2, following your heart. Steve Jobs, in his Stanford commencement speech in June 2015, said, "And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know that what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary." Number 3, preserving in the face of adversity. Now, Ralph Waldo Emerson, a champion of individualism and a notable lecturer and philosopher who led the transcendentalist movement of the mid-19th century, said, a hero is no braver than an ordinary man, but he is braver 5 minutes longer. And number 4, stand up for what is right. Now, Lao Tzu, the famous Chinese philosopher, said, "From caring comes courage," and I love that. Number 5, expanding your horizons and letting go of the familiar. I was reading letters by Lord Chesterfield, a British statesman and diplomat, and he said, "Man cannot discover new oceans unless he has the courage to lose sight of the shore." Now, slightly off topic, he also wrote, "Whatever is worth doing at all is worth doing well," a motto I stand by and is ingrained in my values. It too gives me courage to move forward with each and every step. And finally, number 6, facing suffering with dignity and faith. For those familiar with the works of Aristotle, he said, "The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances." Now, we all possess these attributes, and there are many types of courage, ranging from physical strength and endurance to innovation and mental stamina. Now, too often we mistake courage as only a physical trait, but as you can see from the quotes that I've shared with you today, history tells us that it's much more. Consider social activist Nelson Mandela speaking out against injustice at great personal risk. How about entrepreneurs and innovators like Jobs, who took a financial risk to follow his heart and dream and innovate? St. Mary MacKillop, whose compassion for others pushed her to stand up for what she felt was right. These are our modern day knights who demonstrate courage daily. You too have the attributes of courage. You simply need to become aware of them, discover your values, and be driven by purpose. Courage is much more than attributes. It's a skill, and it can be developed. So how do we do this? How do we develop courage and use it for decision making and dealing with adversity or difficult situations? Now, I'm not going to dive deeply into my podcast today, but I will give you the steps so that you can explore them and use them on your journey. In business, courage is often action, and we can refer to a special kind of risk that's being taken. Good leaders have a greater willingness to make more bold moves, so they do so by deliberation and preparation, and this avoids career suicide or business failure by increasing the chances of success. This is much more than a visionary leader's inborn characteristics, but rather a skill in decision making that improves with practice. Most great leaders and entrepreneurs teach themselves to make higher risk decisions, and this is learned over time. These steps are not difficult, but they require practice. It's about being measured and calculated. Too often, new leaders, entrepreneurs, and business owners make rash and unproductive decisions, often based on irrational behavior and emotion. So, here are the 6 discrete steps in the process that will help you develop business courage and give you the edge in decision making. 1. Setting goals. 2. Determining the importance of achievement. 3. You need to tip the power balance in your favor. 4. Understanding risk and reward. 5. Setting time for action and timing. And 6. You must have contingency plans. Consider that this process is to help you build business courage so that you can make better decisions. I have met many people who have real courage. They possess the 6 attributes that I referenced earlier, and they have impacted the lives of hundreds and thousands of people around the world. These people have one common characteristic, and that is trust. Trust for one another. Trust is the real motivator behind courage, bravery, and valor. Now, you're probably thinking, how is trust going to impact my ability to be courageous? Well, here it is in simple terms. When you know that someone or anyone would do something for you, it's almost certain that you would do the same, even under extreme conditions and adversity. When I have spoken to these people and spoken to these courageous humans, some famous and some not so famous, and I asked them, why did you do this? You have a family, independence. Why did you take such a significant risk? they share a common theme that forced them into action, and this was trust. Knowing in their body, mind, and soul that the other person or persons would have done the same for them. What's also very important to consider when talking about courage is persistence and fear. There is no doubt that courage involves persistence in danger and hardship. Absolutely no doubt. The entrepreneurs and business owners who subscribe to my channel and know this all too well, okay? So both through their own experiences, but also through mine, because I love to share them. I wouldn't be where I am today had I not persevered through the many challenges that I'd faced in my lifetime. And by persisting, I've overcome, and I was able to build resilience and courage along the way. This does not make me fearless, despite what some people believe. In fact, fear is a very important component of courage. The absence of fear can cause you to make bad decisions and take uncalculated risks that are often unnecessary. The undesirable feelings and the subjective and physical reasons associated with fear can in fact become drivers that allow you to resist the behavioral response and allows you to face the fearful situation. Now, because courage is a universally admired virtue, some may consider it an attribute to be promoted and nurtured. If any virtues are to be fostered within a society, one might even argue that courage should be among them. For courage may be necessary to maintaining and exercising the other virtues. Now, C.S. Lewis observed, courage is not simply one of the virtues, but the form of every virtue at that testing point. And Aristotle believed that an individual develops courage by doing courageous acts. And similarly, there is support for the idea that courage is a moral habit to be developed by practice. What's clear to me is that individuals are more likely to face a situation and attempt to cope with it if their previous experience gives them a reason to believe that they can meet that challenge. And this is why it's so important for us to take action and build resilience so that each challenge that we face makes us stronger and more courageous in anticipation for the next opportunity. Now, when you are deeply involved with something, as is the case for all business leaders, it can be difficult to see the wood from the trees. It can be hard to have courage when you don't have a process or are new at facing that level of adversity. So the best that we can do during this time is to become courageous by being courageous. And sometimes this means getting an outside perspective, so you are able to find your way through to the other side in the most efficient and rewarding way. Now, at the Business Growth Mindset, we are always open for business, and we continuously search for more of our dream clients to add to our network. If this is you and you are in need of a business health check, a new strategy, or a sounding board, then reach out to my team and book a discovery call. You'll find the link in the show notes, and it's absolutely free. If you love today's podcast and are enjoying the series, please take a minute and rate it, provide a review, because this helps others to know that the content I'm sharing is valuable, but also it inspires me to share more content with you. From all of us, keep safe, maintain your distance, wash your hands, and most importantly of all, stay connected with the people that matter the most to you. Please take care during this time. Be kind, be compassionate, and be considerate. And as always, live with purpose. Are you ready to start taking action on your business? Would you like to spend more time with your family? Then call 1300-643-229 and start building momentum right now. I know you're busy. In fact, you are so busy that you don't have time to work on your business or yourself. Often tossing and turning at night, worrying about the how-tos and the cash flow. How on earth can you possibly get off the hamster wheel so that you can take a helicopter view to see where you'll be in 90 days, 1 year, or 3 years from now. In this program, I will take you from sleepless nights to blissful sleep. You'll have more time with your family and you will have the clarity and direction so you can grow and flourish. Call 1-300-643-229 now and start building momentum.